Hi and welcome to Split the E podcast. I'm your host Sean O'Grady. In this podcast we take artists and creators out for a pint to get to know them a little bit better. This week I'm a very special guest. On August 18th and 19th there is an event, Irish Fusion Festival. He owns 5 pubs around Vancouver and also IRL Group. My guest this week is William Donnellan. How are you?
I'm good, Sean. Thanks for having me.
You just arrived. Oh, thank you so much for having me here in your pub. You just arrived home from Ireland. You'd even call this home now, wouldn't you?
I would. I just got back on Saturday, late Saturday, and I might be a small bit jet lagged. So if I start yawning, just give me a slap.
Oh, don't worry. We'll throw the water over you.
Yeah, but it was a lovely trip. Honestly, I was there for 3 weeks. It was the wettest July ever recorded.
On record,
in Galway anyway. I don't know if it was all over Ireland, but
my
in
mother
Galway,
was telling me that as well in Clare's.
It was crazy. Laura, my wife, and the kids were there for a month, and they said that it didn't rain for 3 days out of the month. So it's crazy that that's happening in July in the middle of summer. But that aside, we had a fabulous trip. Went back for my youngest brother Sean for his wedding. Got married in Westport, so that was lots of fun.
In Ballina, like up in Mayo?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely spot,
Ballintubber Abbey there.
They
had the mass there. And that was spectacular. And look at the bit of rain didn't bother us, We had lots of fun, and we were up to all hours of the morning singing and dancing.
You can always be inside it, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it was nice. Got in the Galway races. I hadn't been there for, I think, nearly 15 years since I left. And I forgot how good it was. Jeez, the crack was 90.
You're mad into horses yourself, aren't you?
I am. I like horses. I do. I don't have any race horses, and I don't have any plan to get any. But I like I like equestrian. I love horse riding.
Yeah.
I have a horse here in Southlands, not far from here, and I try and get out and ride. Once a week if I can.
Would you? Yeah. Is that all year round? No.
Yes. Yeah. The horse is in all year round, so.
It doesn't rain.
I try and get out whenever I can. I have a lovely lady down there, Margot Vilvang, and she looks after the horse for us.
Okay.
So she keeps the horse fit and rides the horse and enjoys that as well herself.
Class.
But I get out as often as I can. It's nice. It's therapeutic. You kind of.
I can imagine
get up on the horse.
It's almost like snowboarding, because I've done snowboarding where you're just focused on the one thing, kind of a sense.
It is.
Yeah.
And you know what? A lot of people I see who are into horseback riding or into equestrian, or show jumping or anything like that, an extreme sport, I suppose. They're into skiing or boarding or what do you call the mountain biking? What do you call it?
Downhill biking.
Downhill biking.
And
also the motocross. I suppose extreme sports.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's get to the matter at hand. You're an absolute inspiration to everyone that comes over to Vancouver, including especially myself.
Thank you.
Your story started off in 2006. You and your wife came over here on a whim, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Actually, 2009.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, 2008 it was so wet in 2008, the summer.
Yeah.
I think it rained for like 100 days in the summer in 2008. And I remember saying to Laura, geez, we can't do another summer of this. Next year, let's go somewhere. We'll go traveling, go somewhere nice. So she said, yeah, let's do it. I think I was about 25 at the time. She was 22 or 3. And I had just finished a lease on a pub in Ireland. I had a lease from the age of 20 to 25.
In Ireland before?
Yeah,
okay,
my side of the family were in hospitality always, in pubs. They had pubs in Dublin City. And for example, Smiths in Gastown is like the third in the Smiths family in 3 generations. My grandfather had pubs in Dublin, my uncle, and now ourselves here. But and then my dad's side were all into construction. My mum's side were also into construction on her mum's side. But and I'm a carpenter by trade myself.
Yeah.
So it's in the blood.
The apple doesn't fall too far away from the tree, basically.
No. But anyway, we said it was so wet in 2008. We said we'll go away somewhere, and I was kind of thinking, let's go to Australia, because everybody was going to Australia.
Yeah. And I was thinking Australia before I came here as well. Yeah.
And Laura was laughing. She's like, we're not going to Australia because I'll never get to see you. You'll be gone off with the lads. You finish work on Friday evening at the construction site, and you'll go to the local pub, and I'll be ringing you. Where are you? And I was laughing at her. I'm like, you're so fucking right. Like that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have a lot of friends over there, or is that like?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of people over there then, so that was kind of the easy option. It was like the obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
But then she said, "How about Canada?" And she was thinking Toronto. I said, geez, maybe we could go to Canada, yeah. And then a friend of mine that I'd done a lot of equestrian stuff with was doing he's a surgeon, Dr. Ken Carr, and himself and his wife had trained in Vancouver. And I'd be out riding with him like on Saturdays and stuff, and he'd say, why don't you go to Vancouver? And he kept on to me, he said, it's a beautiful place, and if you go to Toronto first, you'll never go to Vancouver because like it's so far away. You know, Toronto is as far away from Vancouver as it is from Ireland. So,
rightfully so.
He said,
go
to
further
Vancouver
and work your way back.
Yeah, so like go to Vancouver first and check it out and, you know, see if you like it. And that's what we done. We came here, we didn't know anybody. 2009.
No way.
No phone numbers, like knew nobody, and there was very, very little Irish here then. Like I don't know if we met an Irish person for months.
Wow, it's
we were
completely
right
different now, isn't it?
Yeah, like we stayed across the road for the first 2 weeks in the Ramada Hotel. No Irish people around anywhere.
Wow.
I remember going into some of the Irish pubs and, you know, they were wearing kilts and like there was no Irish staff in any of them. It was so different back then.
Yeah.
We found a small Irish community and we started like a puck around and a bit of football on Sunday mornings down in Strathcona Park.
No way.
And we'd get about 10 or 12 people, that was it. Couldn't get any more. And now here...
Now there's leagues and everything.
Within about 10 years, I'd say, we had multiple teams. And now there's 8 clubs, and there could be. Do
you play yourself now?
I do, yeah.
No way, that's wicked.
So I play a bit of hurling, yeah. I don't play football, but I love the GA, I love the football, I love the hurling, and I think it's very important, especially when you're away from home. It's like
it's a community, isn't it?
It's sports, like whether it's soccer or rugby or GA. It brings people together. It's a support network.
100%.
And it's like a big family, and everybody looks out for each other. And
if you're like a random lad that just rocked on then, and you're like, oh, I'm looking for a job, and then you meet someone and he's in that line of work or whatever, you know what
Exactly. I was in that situation in 2001 and 2003 when I went playing hurling in Chicago, in the States, and never took many longer than 24 hours to get a job. You know, you'd go up to the local Irish pub, the Goalpost, down the south side. And
what's Chicago like? Were you living there for long? Were you?
I was there for 3 months for the summer, like on day one.
Yeah.
2001 and 2003. I was 18 and 21, I think, when I was there, and it was great fun. Chicago's a great city. I always thought if I lived outside of Ireland, I'd live in Chicago. Then I came to Vancouver, and I was like, I didn't even know places like this existed in the world.
It's gorgeous here, isn't it?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like we genuinely came here, not knowing, you know, would we be here for a week or a month or what, and we'd probably move on to Toronto and settle there, and we're in Vancouver now nearly 15 years.
Yeah, I'm here 8 years, and the time just goes that fast, you know.
It does.
Yeah. And you're kind of. It's the hustle bustle of the city then as well, where there's always something on, and compared to Ireland anyways, you know.
Yeah.
So there's snapping fingers and it's, oh geez, I have to apply for citizenship now, you know what I mean? So,
it does. The time, like honestly, the years are like months.
Yeah.
You know, they just go by so quick.
I also think once you hit a certain age, maybe like over 25, weeks are like days then as well, you know.
That's right.
Compared to like when you're a child, it's like waiting for Santa.
Yeah.
It's nearly like an absolute lifetime before the 25th and the late toy show, you know what I mean? But so you came, you've seen the opportunity that there wasn't that much Irish, and then there wasn't that like contractor, and then you set up IRL Group. So
as I said, I'm a carpenter by trade. I worked for a company out in UBC, and we used to use a lot of skilled labour companies, and there was constant issues with people showing up late or not showing up, or showing up and then they wouldn't have any tools or they wouldn't have any PPE, and like honestly, I never ordered carpenters or skilled labourers to come to site through an agency and had like no issues, you know. And I was just thinking like this is madness. Like I grew up with working with my uncles, you know, in the construction industry, and like
get it done.
You didn't get paid by the hour. You were lucky if you got paid at all.
Yeah.
You had your tools and they were sharp, and you better know how to use them, and you better not be late.
100%.
And I'm looking at this and I'm like, geez, these guys are getting paid top dollar. Like they're getting paid by the second and not alone by the hour. And like every second you're on site, you're getting paid. It's very fair.
Yeah.
And like why can't it be fair for the client as well? You know.
Yeah.
So I kind of said, maybe I'll set up a skilled labour hire company, and if I could set up a skilled labour hire company, it'll take time, but like one that would have, like that would screen all of our team, I call them. I don't like using the word staff or employees. So like screen our teams so we get the best people, number one. It's all about the people. And then give them the best tools to work with. So like our tools all come through Hilti.
Okay.
So Hilti are the best tool in the market.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and or one of the best anyway. And we give them Hilti tools so they got the best tools and, you know, no excuses. Eliminate all the risks.
Yeah.
Give them vehicles so there's no more I missed the bus or the bus didn't come. Or, you know, that's what
eliminating excuses, basically.
Yeah. And that's what we done. And it took a bit of time, but I started on my own, like just myself. Then I had 3 people, 5 people, 15 people probably in the space of 2 years.
And then you were like 40, under 40 for a little bit then.
That's right, yeah. But we went to like 50 people. I'd say within 3 years we had 150 full-time employees with the construction.
No way.
And it just exploded. Honestly, there was nothing else like it out there. You know, you couldn't call somebody that would come with a vehicle and like a total station, you know, which is a very expensive piece of equipment, and all these power tools. It's like, this is crazy. You guys come with everything, and you know what you're doing. I don't have to micromanage you. I don't have to supervise you, and I don't have to.
And then there's like a built of trust then.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I always say that, Sean. Like, it's all about trust and relationships. That's it. You know.
Yeah.
That's what business. It doesn't matter what business you're in. In my opinion, it's about trust and relationships. And the goal was like every year try and make 3 really good new contacts. And that's what we did. And then we had, like I'd say 90+% of our business was from repeat customers, and we got a really good reputation, and we were just so busy, you know, and we just kicked on from there.
And then going from, like you were saying before, that you had a pub back in Ireland.
Yes.
You were running that pub?
I was, yeah.
And you weren't doing construction?
I was doing both.
No way.
I was carpenter during the day and running the pub.
No rest for the wicked here,
and Laura helped me a lot there as well. But we done that, and we swore like, Jesus, we're not going to do that again. You know, we're going
to look at where we are now.
I was like, I'll stick to the construction. And I remember in about 2016, I was kind of getting the itch again, and I said, geez, this place could do it. You know, a good, solid Irish pub.
Because even like looking at Vancouver as where we go out now, you can go to the Shamrock Alley here. There's nearly like everywhere I go I would pub hop, and it would be an Irish bar.
Yeah,
I feel very lucky in that sense.
There is. I guess you know, the Irish pubs that were here, some of them weren't very authentic, I suppose is the word, or you know, like, they were pulling pints of Guinness in one go. You know, and
do you ever see? Sorry for interrupting, but have you ever seen that Instagram page? It's Shite London Guinness.
No.
I'll show it to you after. But it's a whole Instagram page that's literally devoted to like a shit pint of Guinness, where you'd see like a head where it's nearly like halfway down. Even like pictures of Guinness. It's like, what the fuck are you doing with pictures of Guinness? You know what I mean? It's blown up actually. And the guy who set it up is actually the guy behind Waterford Whisperer.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Right, that's a good one.
It's funny.
But no, like that's what they were doing. They were, you know, pulling pints in one go. They were wearing kilts. I remember saying to one guy, why do you wear kilts in this pub? It's an Irish pub. And he said, well, they wear kilts in Ireland. And he was the general manager. And I just didn't even bother arguing with him.
I think I know that pub. No names per se, but yeah.
And that guy is a great guy, but they just didn't know any different, you know.
Yeah, it was a concept, really.
I was thinking, if we could like do it right, because the Irish are starting to come over now, and it'd be great to have, what I was calling at the time was like a clubhouse, somewhere where we can hang out, and we can have the crack, and we can stand up and drink. I don't know if you remember that, but like you couldn't stand up and drink. And like in Ireland, the lads like to stand up and drink, and the women like to sit down.
100%.
And,
there's also that kind of divide when you come over to Canada, where the table service kind of thing.
Yes.
And that really like glued everyone sitting down, and yeah.
There was just different things like that. You know, they wanted you to sit down and drink, and they wanted you to have some food with your pint, and like I was kind of thinking, geez, this is. You know,
it was different actually when I think about it now.
It was tough to adapt to, and I understand why it had to be done. But and they didn't like an Irish pub is a place where you go to have a bit of crack, like, you know,
and socialise. And there's another like you were saying with the GAA clubs is it's nearly like marketing for yourself in a sense. You know what I mean? Meeting another person where, again, you might get a job or whatever. You might make new friends or whatever. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
With the table service aspect of Vancouver, you can't. It's a little bit kind of like argy-bargy and clunky to do that.
Yeah. And anyway, it was 2016. I got the itch and I was talking to some realtors. I didn't tell Laura because I knew she'd kill me. So not far from here I met a guy. His name was Sean too. And he showed me a place and I didn't like it. And then he said, he showed me a few places. And then he said, I just got the keys of another place. And it's just around the corner. They're on my desk. I'm not supposed to show it to anyone yet. Like, do you want to go down there? And I said, yeah, why not? And it was here he brought us to 1082 Granville Street. And it was Joseph Richards at the time. It was Stone Temple before that, which was very famous. But it was a nightclub, basically, Joseph Richards. And I looked at the space. It was all divided up. And I said, this place has lots of potential. I love the neighbourhood. Granville Street is the entertainment district. It's where the hustle and bustle is. It's the main street in Vancouver. The only thing was there was no draft lines. They'd never had a cooler room.
Because it was a nightclub?
Yes, it was all packaged goods. Bottles and cans. So we had to put in a cooler, we had to put in a kitchen. Like,
a lot of even work things, just to even get it started.
Those two things are $500,000, you know. So like I didn't realise the expense that was ahead of us, and if I did at the time I wouldn't have done it. There's no doubt about it, you know.
Really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, like we had a budget and we were 3 times that budget. Like for example, there was so much hoop jumping and red tape when it came to getting the permits, inspections, permits, the building process. It took us 18 months and we were paying like 25 grand a month on rent. So like that's $500,000 gone. Like we hadn't accounted for that, you know. And at one point Laura said to me, like, all of our money is gone and we're not open yet. What are we going to do even if we get it open and it doesn't work? Well, I said, I didn't know what to say to her, so I said, like best case scenario, I says we have to go home and we go back to our family and we live happily ever after. And she was like, okay,
that's a good option.
So I didn't know what else to say.
The parents would be happy too, right?
I didn't know what else to say. So obviously I was praying that wouldn't happen, and we got our doors open and the Irish just flocked and they supported us like you wouldn't believe. The place was packed 24/7. At the time we had some business partners. And they were very knowledgeable in the industry. They have a couple of places on Davy Street. Great guys. And they helped us a lot. And things like, even though it's similar to home, it's very different in certain ways, you know. And they taught us a lot, helped us out a lot. They're no longer involved now. Laura and myself own all of the businesses 100%. But they were definitely a great help. Initially, and we got it done. We worked 24/7 to get it open. It took us, as I said, 18 months, and we were working. We had a day crew working during the day and a night crew. And I would try and manage. I would manage the day crew and try and manage most of the night crew as well. But we wouldn't work all through the night. But we'd be here till 1 or 2 o'clock, and we'd be trying to get across the street there to the old Johnny Fox's for a pint before we get home.
There we go,
the lads would look after us. Jordan and a few of them were over there then, and they'd look after us to give us a pint or two before we go home and a basket of chicken wings. But look, it's great memories, but it was very tough. Thankfully it worked out, and here we are.
I came across a quote. I've recently just kind of like trying to absorb quotes. So there's a quote: dreams without goals are just dreams and ultimately fuel disappointment. On the road to achieving your dreams, you need to apply consistency and commitment, because without commitment you'll never start, and without consistency you'll never finish. And it seems exactly what you did.
Yeah, that's very true.
Have you a quote for like life or anything, or even business? Or even like a life lesson or anything like
one, that? Like, I have many of them, but one that it's on my WhatsApp, and it's one that I always kind of, I guess, revert back to is, it's up to you. You know, we are in total control, I believe, of our destiny. Like, you can do anything. Somebody said to me one time, if we knew how powerful our minds were, you know, we wouldn't have any negative thoughts at all. You know, I believe everybody suffers from mental health. You know, everybody has negative thoughts, but I do also believe that our mind is so powerful, and we don't understand that, I think, fully yet. But like, look at Conor McGregor is a great example. You know, love him or hate him, like what he done is phenomenal. Like,
100%.
You know, he said, I'm going to hold these 3 belts. You know, when he had nothing, and he did.
In a sense, he nearly kind of foresee the future in a sense, like
Yes.
going back to that RTE kind of reality bites. He was saying, I'm going to have UFC gold, enough money, and I'll be crazy. And I think we can nearly say he's gone crazy right now.
No, it's so true. And I have done that myself with different projects. Like, we have made things happen that people thought were impossible, genuinely. And we just said, like Laura often says to me, like, you manifested that. Like, you made that happen because you kept saying it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And
kind of making your own luck, really.
Yes, and a simple example that comes to mind is this building. We own this building now.
I heard that, congratulations.
Thank you, but we came here with a few $100s in our pocket. Like, I'm a carpenter, Laura wasn't long out of university, she's HR and business background, and has been like, the best partner I've ever had, in life and in business. And I think that's very important too. It's like one of the most important decisions of your life is that you pick the right partner, and thankfully I did. But we purchased this building, and if you'd told me when I came to Vancouver, that someday you'll own a building on Granville Street, or someday you'll own a hub and the real estate on Granville Street in the downtown core, I'd laugh. And I kept saying it to myself for probably 5 years, since 2016. Someday I'm going to own this building, someday I'm going to own it.
You always overestimate what you can do in a year and underestimate what you can do in 5 years.
That's right. If your goals, if people are not laughing at your goals, laughing at them, then they're not goals at all. If people think that that can actually be achieved, then that's not a real goal. Like, you've gotta aim high.
So let's segue onto the goal and setting up this Irish Fusion Festival. How did that come about?
I think it was just another crazy idea I had one day, and I love festivals, and I'd like to get into more outdoor events, special events. And I just said, a music festival would be cool, but then I was thinking more about it, and I was like, what about a fusion festival where we could include everyone, from all over the world, and all different types of activities, not just music. Like, we're going to have pony riding at this. We're going to have bouncing castles. We want it to be family friendly. We want it to be affordable. There's festivals like this in Vancouver at the moment, and they're $200 a ticket.
Oh, they're ridiculous,
So we have priced these at $20 a ticket, $25 for the weekend.
Yes.
And we don't want to price anyone out of the festival. We want everybody to come, have fun. We want it to be so diverse that, it's so unique that people have never seen anything like it before. And just to have fun. Like, life is short, and it's very important to have fun, at every single opportunity. So this is going to be fun. It'll be a huge blowout for everybody. We have so much talent here in Vancouver when it comes to entertainment. It's
100%.
Unbelievable. Like, people ask me at home, do you have problems getting musicians or entertainers? And I'm like, you wouldn't believe it, the talent we have that play in our pubs, and we're so grateful and lucky for that. But I was thinking, why don't we showcase them? Have a huge festival and let them all get up on the big stage and have a bit of crack. And
that's all what it's about, really, isn't it?
That's it. And put their name on a poster and put it all over social media.
I definitely, for reasons for just to talk about the podcast and why I even set up the podcast, I found that it was very hard to navigate just Facebook events. And I was like, okay, let's just try and be the RTE guide to Vancouver or whatever, for lack of a better word. But ever since I did that, now I've opened up. If you do look for it, there is a sick amount of talent here. And it's literally only growing, really, as well.
It really is, And musicians, again, like the musicians we have here, and a lot of them are Irish, and they're just so talented. It's incredible. And let's make use of that. Let's all come together, have a bit of fun, and it's very good for the community as well. And I think another reason for having TIFF, the Irish Fusion Festival, is we have an event in Leg and Boot Square, which is on the seawall there between Granville Island and Olympic Village. And our office is there, and we live there as well. Our home is there. And it's called Irish Day in the Square. And it's just a small little event. We had it there about a month ago, before I left for Ireland anyway, and had it last year in the square. So we had this little community event. And I was kind of thinking, it'd be great to bring the community together. We have this beautiful square in Leg and Boot Square, and the beautiful view. It's like one of the nicest
just on the seawall, isn't it? Yeah.
You know, the big red anvil used to be there for a while.
Yeah. There's
right
a little
there.
coffee shop just across the road.
That's right,
from as well,
convivial.
yeah.
Beth, she's a lovely person.
Gorgeous, really good coffee.
She's a great friend. And I was thinking, like, this is like the perfect square, and we don't have an event in it from one end of the year to the next. Like, why don't we do something here to bring the community together and just have a bit of fun? You know, small event, 50, 100 people. So we done that a few years ago, and like about 200 people showed up. You know, just something small, and we were blown away by it. And every week for the year, the community has been saying, William, can we do that again? Can we do it every month? And I was like, no,
Jesus
we can't. Like,
Christ.
we'll do it once a year, and that's it. Irish Day in the Square is once a year. So we done that, and then done it again, and it was lots of fun. And I was thinking, like, why don't we do this on a huge scale? And that was kind of another reason for having the Irish Fusion Festival.
Where did the name come from, Irish Fusion Festival? I know you kind of like explained it a little bit, but fusion is such a good like word to join everything together.
Yeah, I just a bit of research, and our team as well, our committee. Who we've got 8 people there who are on the committee. They work for IRL Group.
I would personally just give a shout out to Ciara
Ciara O'Neill,
fantastic, really easy to deal with as well.
Very good, nice to hear. Ciara's a great girl.
She is,
And
she's playing at this as well, her and her cousin, the O'Neills.
That's right.
I look forward to seeing them.
And they're very good, super entertainers. They have all done Trojan work, to be honest, behind the scenes. And it wouldn't have been possible without them. But like, we threw a few names at them, and then we kind of together we decided on the Irish Fusion Festival. We call it TIFF for short, but we've got to be careful because that's the Toronto International Film Festival as well, I think. So I'm told. But that's kind of where the name came from, But you were going to say a few of the people that are performing.
The ones that I have had Matty Miller on the podcast, and I'm so privileged to he's one that would reach out to me with even songs that they wrote, and I highly recommend them. Air Tracks is a DJ who's going to be playing on Friday. I had him. I just did a boat party 2 weekends ago, and I had him and Disco Freaks, where he's a part of.
All right.
Thumbs up on that. I'm really, really, really excited because it's an Irish Fusion Festival. There's not just Irish music at it, you know, and like the Irish aspect of Irish dancing and stuff. The Paperboys give this aspect to the festival where they have like a Latin infusion in their songs. There's one song on Spotify, it's called America, and they're actually singing Spanish, and it's absolutely amazing. But it brings me back to, have you ever seen or have you ever heard of the St. Patrick's Battalion?
Yes.
Have you ever heard about this?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, and I was like, this makes so much sense that there's like Latinos and Irish kind of like infused in one fusion again, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, did you see the jersey that O'Neill's have?
No, I have not. No.
If you look on their Instagram yesterday, I think they kind of it was like Jersey of the Week. And it's like a nod to Ireland and Mexico and the history there. It's unbelievable.
Did you know? I heard this on Blind Boys podcast. So the Irish lads that went over and refused to fight for the Americans, they went over to and fought with the Mexicans, and then they were like on the battle lines, and they were like, no, they knew straight away that they're giving up their life, right?
Yeah.
But they were singing like rebel songs, and I think they were singing the song "Green Grows the Grass," and then the Mexicans heard that, and they were like, "Gringos?" So that's where the term "gringos," white guy, comes from.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. That's
Never
unreal,
knew
isn't
that.
it?
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And also, you have on the Saturday, I'm just looking here, Fionn are an Irish, their father's Irish. I think they're Canadian. They grew up here. They're twins. They're sisters. And they're amazing. I really look forward to seeing them. They're kind of blowing up now in the last. They're signed to 604 Records.
Yes.
Do you know who 604 Records are? They're, Nickelback.
Yeah.
The lead singer in Nickelback owns 604 Records.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they're doing big things as well. There's actually like so much. I had Eamon McGale on, the nicest guy.
He's a sound man. Sligo man. I know him well.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Right. And also, the Black Donnellys headlining Saturday. Have you seen their documentary?
I haven't seen their documentary, no.
So it's on YouTube, you can buy it, right? Or rent it for like $5.
Right.
But they're in the Guinness World Book of Records for doing 60 shows in 50 states of America in 40 days. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that, but I'll
so it's
watch
actually,
it.
it goes through their whole story of like how they're doing it, and I think they have like 2 weeks left and $25 to their name and stuff like that. So it's brilliant, right?
Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool. No, I'm really excited about seeing them all performing, to be honest.
We touched at the very beginning that you're into horticulture and horse riding, right?
Yeah.
I'd be very regretted if I didn't bring it up, but the charities that the fundraiser, the whole thing is for, Don't Go Hungry and Pacific Riding for disabilities.
That's right, yeah.
Or developing
PRGA.
disabilities.
Yeah.
How did you get in touch with them?
Yeah, so it's interesting that you asked that. So the PRGA, I'm actually on their board now.
No way.
They do unbelievable work. You would not believe it. I could talk about
They're
them
based
for
out in Langley,
hours.
isn't it? Yeah.
And Erin and Michelle and their team out there are just phenomenal people.
Yeah.
They have people riding horses who are blind and deaf and jumping jumps in arenas. Like it's insane. It just shows you again that
for being ignorant now. Are they jumping with the aid of a person, or they're doing it themselves?
Themselves on the horse, yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. So that's the kind of work that they do, and it's just therapy again for adults and children. And we do a charity ride for them every year, and I like to involve them in different events. And we were delighted to have them as part of this. They're just great people and they do great work, and it's a local small charity,
Yeah.
And I think it's important to beat the drum for them too. But they've been going for decades now, like a long time.
They're nearly 30 years, I think, aren't they? Yeah.
They're over in Langley by Campbell Valley Park, and they're just great people doing great work.
100%.
And
100%.
we were delighted that they accepted. We said, do you want to be part of the festival? And they said yeah.
And is that where like the horse?
Sorry, where I suppose how I got connected with PRGA. Sorry, I got off track there. Was we have 3 boys, and the 3 of them were preemies. They were all premature.
No way.
So they're like roughly 1 and 3 and 5, 6 actually. 1, 3, and 6 now. Irla just turned 6. He's the oldest, and they were all preemies. So when Irla was born. He was part of a program because he was only like 3.5 pounds when he was born. Thankfully, he caught up in the first year, and he's healthy as a trout now, and he's as strong as a bull, like his mother. But we were part of a program called the IDP, the Infant Development Program.
Okay.
And they introduced us because they're a part of the PRGA. So they knew I was into horses and said, "Did you ever hear about the PRGA? This is what they do." And we thought this was amazing, and that was kind of the initial connection.
Brilliant!
Yeah, and
that's so cool.
Yeah, and we also have other connections through the Southlands Riding Club and the Fraser Valley Hounds, a group in the valley that out in Aldergrove. That they do a lot of work together with the PRGA. So it's a small community, small circle out there, and everybody kind of knows everybody, and we've done lots with them now, and we enjoy working with them, and that's the kind of people that we like to work with, people that we enjoy working with. We can have fun together and we can help each other out.
100%. And just to touch on the Don't Go Hungry, am I right in saying it's a sister Elizabeth? Is it? It's a nun that runs it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And again, that's through friends of ours. Angus Beattie is a very good friend. He works for a company called Omicron and Nexi. And Angus and myself are part of a CEO group that meet about 4 times a year. Once a year we go away together. We were away in Oak Bay there for like a retreat for a few days. All about it's like full on for 3 days, all about business.
Yeah.
CEOs helping each other. 12 people. And it's through the McKay CEO forums, and they have all these little pods of people, and you go away with your group and you help each other with different challenges, I suppose, in our everyday lives.
Yes.
And it can be personal, it can be business, but I find it very beneficial. I've been doing it for a few years now. And Angus mentioned that his wife is very involved with Don't Go Hungry, and he told me all about it.
And it's for like children outside of like summer school, outside of school in summer, not getting their lunches or something.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. It's a
very good
bank.
Yeah.
And they, himself, Angus, and his wife go there all the time. I think at the weekends, and they volunteer their time. And like, these are people that are super busy, and I just telling me about it, and I was like, we should get you involved in TIFF, you know?
Yes, exactly.
And they said, we'd love to. So they're actually here now. I see them downstairs. But that's how they got involved as well. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So it's cool. So we're going to have different fun events. Like, it might be hit the target, and you pay, $2 or $4 to have 3 shots, and the proceeds will go to the charities.
There you go.
That's the way it's going to work.
You also have the GAA dunk tank.
Yeah, that's
Are you going to be hopping on that now?
I might. I've done crazier things in my time, but that'll be fun.
So time to get baptized.
I've seen that at an event. I've seen it a few times, but I've seen it at an event recently out in Deep Cove beside the Raven pub we have there. And it was for Paddy's Day, actually. And I was thinking, like, this would be so much fun,
Yeah.
The target is
so everyone
small.
come and like pack your swimsuit basically. Yeah. That's amazing.
So like, the target is small enough, and I was thinking that'd be, people are throwing these big balls at it, so it's easy enough. I was thinking if we could do that with a hurl and a sliotar,
Oh, no way!
Yeah, that's what we're going to do, and then we'll do it with football as well. You can use a football. So it's like, with the GAA are going to be involved in it, and the proceeds will go to the GAA. So
that's class.
It's going to be lots of fun, Yeah.
So to sign up to actually get on the chair, how does that happen now?
You're already signed up. Kira signed up.
I'm definitely, let's go.
That's good.
Make the water cold, right?
Oh, it'll be cold. It'll be full of ice.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Willie, I'm not going to hold up your time. It's getting a little bit louder in here now, and this is basically the start of the whole festival as well. This is the launch party that we're at right now.
Yeah, 10 days to go. So the launch party is tonight. All of our volunteers are coming to Donnellan's to pick up their packages.
Yes.
All of our vendors, our performers, our artists, everybody involved in the festival, our charity partners, our sponsors, they're all going to come and just, have a chat, have a pint, have a bit of crack.
And again, like you said, it's $20 for one day and $25 for the 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Exactly. Yeah, don't miss it. It's going to be lots of fun. We're really excited about it.
We'll get you on that dunk tank for
I'm looking forward to that.
I was saying that my father said, and I end every podcast on it, your honesty and generosity will never escape my memory. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, no worries.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching this episode. We'll see you in the next one. If anyone wants to buy tickets, where would they go? On Eventbrite or?
Instagram is the handiest. Yeah.
Instagram on the link on bio?
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Please like and share, and we'll see you at the festival.